Axe the tax. Spike the hike. To support our troops. God bless our police. Common sense. Build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. Be jail, not bail. Jail, not bail. Stop the crime. Stop the crime.
That was Pierre Poilievre, the guy that wants to be the next Prime Minister of Canada. Believe me, as a union leader, having given over 2,000 speeches during my career, I can assure you that was a pretty lame, low-energy attempt to gin up his base. I mean, it got so bad that here he is in the middle of his speech trying to explain what bring it home actually means.
Bring it home. And we do say bring it home a lot, don't we? And some people wonder what it means. It means bringing home the country that we always knew and still love.
But leaving that aside, I'm not interested in his speaking skills. What I want to talk about are the policies that he's now touting out there on the hustings. And before I forget, can you please hit that subscribe button down below to help me grow this channel? Thanks. The reason I'm making this video is to get a message across to union members in particular and the working class. He is a chameleon when it comes to his messaging. He has spent his lifetime in government supporting free trade agreements. But to listen to him today, he's all concerned about the jobs that are going overseas and pretending that somehow he's going to bring them back, as if he's going to abrogate all of those free trade agreements that he supported.
It's not just about the cost to consumers. It's about the independence and self-reliance of the Canadian economy. So my common sense plan, my friends, is to axe the tax on Canadian businesses so that they can bring home the production to this country. We can make our own steel, manufacture our own goods, produce our own food.
It will create jobs and opportunities for Canadians today and, just as importantly, for the generations that follow.
The 6% tariff barrier will be removed in 2 years. This means Korean companies like Hyundai and Kia, which currently make up 12% of the Canadian market, will be able to make further inroads in the North American country.
Stephen Harper's gotta go! Hey, hey, ho, ho!
The gathering we have here today is based on the fact that we're concerned for our jobs. We know yesterday that Stephen Harper sold us out. We continue to see various jobs leave this jurisdiction on a regular basis, head to low-cost jurisdictions around the world.
Putting aside all of the neoliberal right-wing policies that he has supported over his career, what worries me and bothers me a lot is he's beginning to infuse his campaign and his rhetoric with all of these Trumpisms. He is bringing into his campaign those elements of the Trump's campaign that he thinks will work with Canadians.
Don't be threatening. Be nice. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. What a stupid question that is. Keep your voice down, please. What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions. Sit down, please. Sit down. I didn't call you. I didn't call you. I didn't call you. I'll give you voter suppression. Excuse me, I'm not responding to you. I'm talking to this gentleman. Will you please sit down?
He's becoming a jackass at a time when we need to have a serious debate about the future of the party and the country.
No, I asked you a question. You keep asking us the questions.
We're the journalists. I want to ask a question because in a democracy we ask the question and you answer.
And I decide the answer I give.
Do you regret granting $100 million in regulatory relief to the mainstream media?
You're a tax-funded mouthpiece to the PMO. That's the reality. So,
question answered. You committed.
I'm trying to, but you're heckling. Are you going to let me answer the question, or are you just going to heckle on behalf of Justin Trudeau?
But there's another element of his attack on the media, and that is the publicly funded Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, the CBC. He basically is talking about shutting it down.
We're going to sell off 6,000 federal buildings. And you know something? It warms my heart to think of a beautiful family pulling up in their U-Haul to move into their wonderful new home in the former headquarters of the CBC.
Ideologically, he is opposed to public sector dollars going into any entity that he believes should be delivered by the private sector. Now, the problem with that is, of course, we have our healthcare system, which is also publicly funded. And we know that the Conservatives, ever since Tommy Douglas brought in universal healthcare in Saskatchewan, the Conservatives have fought tooth and nail to try to destroy that program and to try to privatize as many parts of it as they possibly can. He's also trying to do what Donald Trump did, which was basically try to appeal to unionized workers, pretending that somehow he was going to bring jobs back into United States. And Poilievre is out there in the hustings right now, attempting to appeal to steel workers and other unions, talks about unions all the time.
But I'm thrilled to be back with the workers, UAW members, and proud patriots of the great state of Michigan.
I was at Canada's oldest steel plant, Stelco, over 100 years. Any steel workers here? We got a steel worker there. God bless the steel workers. Amazing steel workers in our country. God love them.
Every Canadian steel operation has been taken over during the Harper regime. In the last year, goddamn right it's a shame. In the last year, we had 3,000 mergers and acquisitions. We've given away our seed corn, we've given away our manufacturing base, we've given away our mines. And every one of those we had what was supposed to be a net benefit for Canada. But I'm a Canadian, I'm a proud Canadian, and I'll be damned if they'll take away our pensions, damned if they'll take the rights for our kids, damned if they'll take away the rights for our grandkids.
We know when he was in government the last time that he raised the retirement age up to 67.
We've already taken steps to limit the growth of our healthcare spending over that period. We must do the same for our retirement income system.
Significant increases in the effective retirement age are required to maintain control of the cost of pensions.
We will ban all of our ministers and members of Parliament from any involvement in the World Economic Forum.
Mr. Speaker, the World Economic Forum's 2010 Global Competitiveness Report has again ranked Canada as having the world's soundest banking system.
That this next election, whenever it rolls around next year, is going to be extremely important, particularly for social programs, for publicly funded education, healthcare, CBC. We know when he was in government the last time that he raised the retirement age up to 67. We know that he's opposed to minimum wage. We know that he's opposed to workers joining unions. So there's a lot at stake. And please don't buy into the rhetoric from this guy. He is no friend of the working class. He is no friend of unions. This man is out for corporations. That's all he's ever been about. And all the cuts he's talking about, axing the tax, that has got more to do with putting more money back into the pockets of corporations than what it has about putting money into the pockets of workers. And if you don't believe that, take a look at what Trump did when he was in power. For all the time he talked about unions on his way up and free trade agreements, at the end of the day, he gave corporations the largest tax break that they've ever had in US history. And workers down in the United States, they got pennies as a consequence. So if you buy into that rhetoric, buyer beware. As I've said already, the past is prologue. Whatever he's done in the past is an indication of what he's going to do in the future. You've been watching Straight Talk with Sid Ryan.